And a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tas Sports Radio. You're with Rick Fontaine. Great to have your company with thanks to Neil Buckby Motors. And welcome once again to our weekly look and wrap and preview of local sport. Great to have you with us wherever you may be listening, not only around the country but overseas. I know we've got a contingent of our athletes at the moment in Taiwan competing at the International Children's Games, and we're going to cross live a little bit later this half hour and catch up with a couple of our athletes, Arabella Phillips and Torin Jones. Great news coming out of there this evening about the last couple of hours. Jagger Pybus from Hobart has won a gold medal for Tasmania in the long jump, jumping 6.49 metres. So fabulous result. So looking forward to getting over there shortly. Also, very shortly, we're going to have a look at the TSL for this weekend. It is round 16 as we get down to the real business end of the 2016 roster season. Also tonight, we're going to catch up with Andrew Cooling, the Media and Competitions Coordinator for Football Federation Tasmania, and have a look at this weekend's matches in the National Premier League Tasmania. 4 games happening, and we'll have a look at the latest in the ladder as well. And we're going to talk netball, and looking forward to catching up with the head coach of the Northern Hawks, Ruth Toohey. She'll join us in our second half hour. The Hawks in terrific form, currently sitting second on the ladder, and big game coming up this weekend. They take on Cripps Waratah up at the Silverdome. So we'll preview not only that match, but all the games in the ANZ State League Netball. So plenty to get through tonight. Very shortly, though, we're going to take a look at the TSL for this weekend. We'll keep you up to date. There is plenty of sport happening this evening as well. It is the start of the British Open Golf and also the AFL. Thursday night football proving to be very popular. And what a game this one is up at the SCG. The Sydney Swans taking on the reigning premiers Hawthorn. They're 12 minutes into the opening term, and it's the Swans 2-2-14, Hawthorn 1 goal straight 6. So we'll keep you up to speed with how things are happening over there at the SCG tonight. But we're going to take a quick break. Coming up very shortly, we're going to take a look at the TSL.
Put some power into your performance with JBC Sports Power. Feel electric in the latest styles of footwear and apparel. Choose from the latest and most amped up fitness equipment, cricket, Aussie rules and soccer gear. Energize yourself today with gym equipment. Or power down with friends and family. The source of power in fitness. JBC Sports Power, your local experts.
Right now at Neil Buckby Jaguar, there's Jaguar demonstrator deals that will get your heart racing. For a strictly limited time, take advantage of the exceptional offers and big savings available on all Jaguar demonstrator models. Don't miss this chance to get your heart racing. Get behind the wheel and test drive a Jaguar today. Demonstrator deals are for a limited time, so test drive your new Jaguar today at Neil Buckby Jaguar, corner York and Margaret Streets, Launceston.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice, in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
I had 20/20 vision, and in 4 months I went like I was. You can't put a price on your eyes.
Your donation helps Tasmanian Eye Institute deliver world-leading research, education and service in ophthalmology for Tasmanians.
Subaru's end of financial year sale is now on. There's never been a better time to do a new Subaru, as all the range now comes with a reduced price and the added reassurance of 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Do hurry in to the end of financial year sale, now on at Neil Buckby Subaru.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
Welcome back to Tas Sports Radio. Great to have your company this evening at the SCG. Pretty good start for the Swans. Goals to Towers and Rowan, and for the Hawks, 1 goal to Jack Gunston. It is the Swans, almost 15 minutes gone in the opening term. 2-3-15, leading the Hawks, 1 goal straight 6. Welcome to those who might be tuning in via our YouTube channel. We'll give you a little wave right now. Got a little camera here. Derek Phillipson, my technical producer here, has done a great job, and we're now available on YouTube. And just about that as well, very excited to say, and we'll give you more details over the coming weeks, on Saturday the 6th of August, we're going to live stream our very first sporting event. And it's going to be, with thanks to Netball Tasmania, the State League netball clash between the Cavaliers and the Northern Hawks. That is the final match of the season, the final round of the season before the finals. So we'll be bringing you that live via our stream. So wherever you may be, if you can't get to the Silverdome to see these two great rivals, the Cavaliers and the Northern Hawks, take to the court at the Silverdome, you can tune in to us. Just go to our Facebook page, Fontaine Sports Media, and you can get all the details there and the link as well. And you'll see the site's already up and running with the preview there to our coverage. That'll be from 8 p.m. at the Silverdome. So just make a note of that on Saturday, the 6th of August. Now, plenty happening in the TSL this weekend. As I mentioned earlier, we're getting towards the real business end of the season now. Last week, all the big sides got very, very good wins indeed. The Burnie Dockers, after going down to North Launceston here at Aurora Stadium a couple of weeks ago, they bounced back with a 25-point victory over Lauderdale up at West Park. The reigning premiers, North Launceston, certainly got the job done over Clarence, winning in the end by 56 points. Clarence led at quarter time, and it was just 6 points the margin, but a 13-5 second half saw North Launceston get over the top. Devonport had a massive win over the Tigers. The injury hit Tigers, currently on the bottom of the ladder. It was a 67-point margin there in favour of Devonport. And the Hobart City Demons were no match for the red-hot Glenorchy. Glenorchy winning that by 127 points. So the ladder in the TSL after round 15, Glenorchy out in front on top of the ladder on 48 points from North Launceston and Burnie on 44. Glenorchy's percentage, a massive 250%. They're almost 100% in front of North Launceston. So unless they fall in a bit of a heap, I think the Magpies look as though they're going to probably finish the season on top of the ladder. But North Launceston do have a game in hand. Glenorchy with the bye this week. So a chance for North Launceston to go level on points, as it is for the Burnie Dockers, who have played 14 matches. So Glenorchy and the Burnie Dockers have played 14 games. North Launceston 13. A really big gap then to 4th and 5th. Devonport and Lauderdale, they're locked in a real ding-dong battle for that 4th and 5th position. They're on 28 points. Very important for those sides, because the 4th place side will get the home elimination final. As we speak at the moment, the top 5 is pretty well set in stone already. Glenorchy, as I mentioned, they're on 48, North Launceston and Burnie 44, and it is a 4-game margin between Devonport and Lauderdale. So they're not going to make up that ground on the top 3, so the top 3 will just change potentially their spots, but Devonport and Lauderdale fighting for that home elimination final. There's a big gap between 5th and 6th as well, so the top 5 pretty well set as we speak. Round 16 this weekend, a full round of games up at the Devonport Oval. Devonport are taking on the Hobart City Demons. Hobart have been getting into a little bit better form, certainly finishing the season a lot better. They're up to 3 wins already, and we can have a quick look at the sides. I'll just bring up the teams for this weekend in just a moment. But that is going to be a very, very good game up there. Devonport have been in very good form, and they'll certainly want to win this game to ensure they can hold on to that 4th spot. Taking a look at the Devonport side, Bo Thorpe, unfortunately, out of the side this week for Devonport, but coming in, Deverill, Van Buren, Crane and Barker. Whilst for the Hobart City Demons, 4 ins at the moment, Millhouse, Hay, Goosden and Williams. But up at the Devonport Oval, Devonport should be too strong. Mitch Thorpe in great form, kicking a lot of goals. They should get the job done on the Hobart City Demons and maintain that 4th place on the ladder. North Launceston return to Aurora Stadium this weekend where they'll take on the hapless Tigers. They've got the 2 wins at the moment. The Tigers, they're struggling, 2 wins from their matches, and they're going to be up against it. North Launceston should be way too strong there in that match. Checking the North Launceston side, they've got a few ins coming in this weekend. Taron Thomas returns from his incredible performances in the underage championships. He is an absolute gunner, one of the best young talents that I've seen in Tasmania for a very long time. So Thomas comes in, Venn, Bennett and Lockie Young as well. Whilst for the Tigers, Livingston, Brower, Rees, Smith and Neild come into the side. Out this week for the Tigers, Humphrey and Davies, but should be a pretty easy win for North Launceston. Down at Lauderdale, they'll take on their arch rival Clarence. This is going to be a very, very interesting game, this one. With everything that's been going on with Sam Siggins, the transfer over from Clarence to Lauderdale, Darren Winter making some pretty strong comments a couple of weeks ago. There should be a big crowd down there for this one. Lauderdale and Clarence, really important game for Lauderdale to keep pace with Devonport for that 4th position, and I think they'll be a little bit too strong for the Clarence side this week. The final game of the round is at Windsor Park. Launceston are taking on the Burnie Dockers. For Launceston, a number of ins, Brown, Edmonds, Jones, Shepherd, Palfreyman and Cooper come into their squad. Out of the Burnie side is Howard, and in comes Butler, Jackson, Foreman, Knight and Rubok. So a pretty strong team on paper there, the Burnie Dockers, and they should be too strong for Launceston down at Windsor Park on Saturday afternoon. Now, next week, we have got the big game covered. Here at Aurora Stadium, North Launceston will be taking on Glenorchy. Coverage on City Park Radio from 1:55pm next Saturday. Myself, David Moore, back from his magnificent holiday overseas, and Matthew McGee with his special comments will be joining us. So on 103.7 FM, or you can head to cityparkradio.com and click on the online stream. We'll have a live broadcast. North Launceston and Glenorchy should be one of the big games of season 2016 in the TSL, and that'll be a beauty. A repeat of last year's grand final, and certainly at this stage of the season, you'd think Glenorchy, North Launceston and Burnie would be the red-hot favourites to be fighting it out for the premiership this year. So 1:55 next Saturday, North Launceston taking on Glenorchy from Aurora Stadium, and we'll have a live broadcast of that game. So that is pretty much it in the TSL this week. Just a very quick update in the AFL. 22 and a half minutes into the opening term, and it is Sydney 4-3-27, and they lead Hawthorn 3 goals straight 18, getting towards quarter time there. Gary Rowan's got a couple of goals for the Swans, Kennedy and Towers with 1 each, and for the Hawks, Hill, Gunston and Lewis with 1 goal each. So we'll keep up to date with that one as the game goes on during our broadcast tonight. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, really looking forward to this, we're going to head to Taiwan and catch up with Wim Vasson and a couple of our star athletes who are competing at the International Children's Games. That's coming up next.
Put some power into your performance with JBC Sports Power. Feel electric in the latest styles of footwear and apparel. Choose from the latest and most amped up fitness equipment. Cricket, Aussie rules and soccer gear. Energize yourself today with gym equipment. Or power down with friends and family. The source of power in fitness. JBC Sports Power, your local experts.
Right now at Neil Buckby Jaguar, there's Jaguar demonstrator deals that will get your heart racing. For a strictly limited time, take advantage of the exceptional offers and big savings available on all Jaguar demonstrator models. Don't miss this chance to get your heart racing. Get behind the wheel and test drive a Jaguar today. Demonstrator deals are for a limited time, so test drive your new Jaguar today at Neil Buckby Jaguar, corner York and Margaret Streets, Launceston.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
I had 20/20 vision, and in 4 months I went like I was. You can't put a price on your eyes.
Your donation helps Tasmanian Eye Institute deliver world-leading research, education and service in ophthalmology for Tasmanians.
Subaru's end of financial year sale is now on. There's never been a better time to do a new Subaru, as all the range now comes with a reduced price and the added reassurance of 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Do hurry in to the end of financial year sale, now on at Neil Buckby Subaru.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
And welcome back to Tas Sports Radio, where the time is approaching 10 minutes to 8. Great to have your company here once again. It is very close to quarter time at the SCG, and 8 scoring shots to 3 in the opening term at Sydney, 4-4-28 to the Hawks, 3 goals straight, 18, almost 27 gone in the opening quarter. We're just trying to get through to the team in Taiwan at the moment. We'll keep trying, and hopefully we'll get them on the line very shortly. As I mentioned, we've had some tremendous success there today. We've had medals to Arabella Phillips and Torin Jones, so congratulations to them, and also a gold medal late today to Jagger Pybus in the long jump, who jumped 6.49 metres. Jagger from Hobart, so congratulations to Jagger Pybus. What a tremendous result. But 24 athletes from Tasmania over there at the moment in Taiwan. We're going to keep trying to get hold of the team over there. We've just made a couple of calls, but just not getting an answer at the moment. But hopefully they won't be too far away. Well, we've got a big weekend coming up in football here in Tasmania this weekend, and great to have with us Andrew Cooling, the Media and Competitions Coordinator for Football Federation Tasmania, on the line to take a look at the matches this weekend. Good evening, Andrew. Great to have you with us. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, good to be here, Rick.
Well, we spoke a couple of weeks ago. Very exciting times, of course, with the FFA Cup announcement, the Devonport Strikers, and obviously getting closer and closer to that night. That's going to be absolutely fantastic, and great to see that Valley Road has passed all the tests and are going to have a magnificent night up there in a few weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a cracking occasion. 10th of August is the date that's been locked in. We've got that confirmed now, and as you said, Valley Road all set to go, so it'll be a massive occasion. I think there'll be plenty of people making the journey there, and we're expecting a bumper crowd for what could be a famous night in Tasmanian football, hopefully. Yeah,
for sure, Andrew. I mean, it's a great ground too. It does make for great atmosphere. It's got a great grandstand there and a very good field. It's a great venue, and it's one of those, I guess, arenas that it's very football-like, isn't it, in terms of the atmosphere? If you've got a big crowd, you're very close to the action, and it's just got that really nice feel and size to it.
Yeah, it should play very nicely for an occasion like this. So we'll get quite a few people in there. It's a real old-style football ground. It's lovely. Lovely venue, one of the best in the state, really, and the Strikers have just everything's been going fantastic for them this year, and they're a very well-run club, and it's great to see them getting rewarded for that. Yeah, going beautifully, aren't they? Now, obviously, for people that can't get to the game, they can still watch. There will be an online stream through Fox Sports, I believe. Yep, that's right, Fox Sports. don't know what the subscription details are, whether there's payment for it or not. I'm not 100% clear on that, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to watch it live through their website. Yes.
Yep. We'll find out the details, and we'll get that broadcast here on Tas Sports Radio a little bit closer to the time. But yes, the 10th of August for those here in the north and the northwest coast, and even from Hobart, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that'll be going up who just love football to go and watch it. Make sure you get up to Valley Road on the 10th of August. It'll be a fantastic night. Well, turning our attention to the local league, some big games coming up this weekend, and I guess none bigger than, these two sides have really become big rivals, haven't they? Particularly over the last couple of months. South Hobart and Devonport go head-to-head this Saturday down at Darcy Street. I guess they've gone from having been strong competitors to now not being being arch rivals in the space of half a season.
Yeah, it's funny how it's emerged. Devonport really, they've been the best team this year. They've played South Hobart 3 times, and South Hobart have not scored against them, and I think they're averaging close to 5 goals a game in all their other matches. So that really says something about Devonport. But there'll be plenty at stake. Obviously, the Strikers won the Lacquer Seljuk Cup final over South Hobart. That stung South Hobart. They're a proud club. They'd won that 2 times in a row. They wanted to go back to the FFA Cup. So they're certainly going to be hurting from that. And then the last time they met in the league, of course, South Hobart dominated the contest and couldn't score. So they'll certainly be out for a bit of revenge, but massive stakes in this one. The game of the round and a really decisive game for the season in determining who will be the victors.
Now, I guess we look at the ladder at the moment. Devonport are 8 points clear of South Hobart on the table. So really, this is pretty well the last hurrah for South Hobart if they've got any aspirations of reaching the pinnacle of the ladder.
Yeah, look, I don't think South Hobart can win the league from where they are, even if they were to beat Devonport. I think this is probably more important for Hobart Zebras than anyone this match, because I'm not sure there's any other team in the league that can take points off Devonport. I think Devonport will win all their other fixtures. And so even if the Hobart Jeep Zebras were to beat Devonport, they'd still be a point behind. So I think they're very much going to be relying on South Hobart to get a result in this one. So that's why I think the game is so big for the season. I really, if Devonport win this game, they will win the league.
Yep, it's certainly big stakes, as you said. Now, up here in Launceston at the NTCA ground on Saturday, Northern Rangers, they've had a real battle this season, but they persist and blooding new talent, which is terrific to see. They take on Olympia now. Launceston City, I think, will be watching this one pretty closely, Andrew. They're very, well, I guess for City in particular, we'll get to them shortly, but that was a pretty bad loss for them last week against Kingborough. But Olympia should be able to get the job done and cement 4th place, you'd think?
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Olympia have been pretty reliable in beating the teams below them on the table. They've been well and truly outclassed by the teams above them, but I think Launceston City are the only team below them that's taken points off them this year. They've won 7 of the other games they've played against the bottom side, so you'd imagine Olympia would be able to do it. They've had a bit of a problem scoring goals in recent weeks. They're probably lacking a genuine striker, which is a real weakness of the squad. The midfield's been playing pretty well. They've got a pretty young and inexperienced backline, so Rangers will be looking at this one as a real chance to get that first win of the year, but they're a very young side themselves, and obviously they're very much just building for the future. They're playing a lot of kids, and it's tough to see how they get past Olympia.
Yep, indeed. Launceston City, well, they've got the trip down to Wentworth Park, taking on Clarence in the late afternoon game, 4:30pm kickoff there. As I mentioned earlier, that a pretty big loss for them last week against Kingborough, and I think Lino surely would have had some pretty harsh words with the squad this week. They just can't afford to drop any points in this one.
Yeah, they will certainly be looking to win that one with Kingborough breathing down their necks for 5th spot. Look, they, against the Lions, the scoreline was 4-1, but in truth, they had plenty of chances to score. Launceston City. Kingborough's keeper had an absolute blinder, Mark Grace, who made 2 of the best saves I've seen this season. And really, that's been Launceston's problem. I think they've not scored multiple goals in a game in their last 10 matches. It's really plaguing them. So they're doing the work to get themselves in a position to take points in games, but they're just lacking that cutting edge. And that might be an issue against Clarence. It'll be a pretty tough game at Wentworth Park. It's a notoriously windy ground, and Saturday evening with some pretty wild weather about it. It's not going to be easy for a pretty young Launceston City side to travel down against a pretty physical Clarence side, even though you'd imagine City would go in as favourites. They did play here a month ago, and Clarence won that game, so they'll certainly be fancying themselves. That should be a really tight contest, that one.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, on Sunday, we got one game to round off the league down at KG5, 2 p.m. The Hobart Zebras taking on Kingborough. Now, Kingborough Lions are really, they've shown some pretty good signs, haven't they? And this is potentially, the Zebras should get the job done, you'd think, but potentially a little bit of a danger game.
Yeah, a real trap game. I agree with that, Rick. They met a month ago and it was 3-2. Kingborough were up 2-0 at half-time in that game and threw away a lead. The Zebras have been a little slow to start in some of these games, and they just feel like they're playing with fire a bit. They keep pulling these results out, but they're not making it easy for themselves. And Kingborough, they're a vastly improved side under the new coach, Ian Shaw. They brought him in 6 or 7 weeks ago, and he's really done a wonderful job transforming that squad into a much more competitive unit. They've got probably a top 3 player in the competition in Shane Cartwright up top for them on form. He's been absolutely sensational, and he's a player who could very easily get a point for the Lions or all 3 in that one. It's a real danger game for the Zebras.
Yep, it's going to be a beauty, that one, I think, on Sunday afternoon. And, of course, South Hobart, Devonport, Northern Rangers, Olympia and Clarence Launceston City, the 4 matches this weekend. Just finally, Andrew, the season itself, it's been a terrific season, and I think the competition seems to be going from strength to strength. As an organisation, you must be pretty happy and pretty excited about, I guess, a lot of the younger players coming through, and as well, we're starting to see recognition for some of our youth as well, aren't we, in terms of national selection?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's obviously been a big objective in the overhaul of the NTC program in recent years. We've got a couple of very good young players coming through. One tonight's young Eduardo Castadina might well be playing for the Joeys in a couple of hours at the Asian Championships. That would be really good to see. And we've got Josh Hope named in the Young Socceroos squad earlier this week, which is fantastic. So Tasmanian football starting to produce some quality young players, and obviously having a competition like the NPL to help develop them while they're young is going to be a big asset and helping us produce a few more, hopefully.
Yep, my word. Well, Andrew Cooling, it's been great to chat to you again. Thanks very much for giving us some of your time on a Thursday evening, and we'll obviously talk a little bit closer to the build-up to the FFA Cup at Valley Road on the 10th of August as well. But thanks very much once again for your time and giving us a great insight into the matches coming up this weekend.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Andrew Cooling, the Media and Competitions Coordinator for Football Federation Tasmania, joining us on the line. It is quarter time in the AFL at the SCG, and the score that just started, actually, the second term. No change to the quarter time score. Sydney 4-4-28, Hawthorn 3-1-19. We'll take a quick break on Tas Sports Radio, and we'll be back very shortly.
Put some power into your performance with JBC Sports Power. Feel electric in the latest styles of footwear and apparel. Choose from the latest and most amped up fitness equipment, cricket, Aussie rules and soccer gear. Energize yourself today with gym equipment. Or power down with friends and family. The source of power in fitness. JBC Sports Power, your local experts.
Right now at Neil Buckby Jaguar, there's Jaguar demonstrator deals that will get your heart racing. For a strictly limited time, take advantage of the exceptional offers and big savings available on all Jaguar demonstrator models. Don't miss this chance to get your heart racing. Get behind the wheel and test drive a Jaguar today. Demonstrator deals are for a limited time, so test drive your new Jaguar today at Neil Buckby Jaguar, corner York and Margaret Streets, Launceston.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki, and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races, or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice, in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
I had 20/20 vision, and in 4 months I went like I was. You can't put a price on your eyes.
Your donation helps Tasmanian Eye Institute deliver world-leading research, education and service in ophthalmology for Tasmanians.
Subaru's end of financial year sale is now on. There's never been a better time to do a new Subaru, as all the range now comes with a reduced price and the added reassurance of 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Do hurry in to the end of financial year sale, now on at Neil Buckby Subaru.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice, in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
Welcome back to TES Sports Radio. It is 8 o'clock. Great news in the AFL. That's great news if you're a Hawthorn fan like me. The Hawks have hit the front up at the SCG, 5-1-31 to Sydney, 4-4-28. So 2 goals to nothing in the opening 3.5 minutes of the second term. Paul Puopolo getting on the scoreboard. So the Hawks have just hit the front there. But more importantly, it's been a magnificent day for Tasmania at the 50th International Children's Games, which are taking place in Taiwan at the moment. We've won a gold, silver and bronze medal today, which is absolutely fantastic. And I'm very pleased to welcome on the line, joining us now from Taiwan, Wim Vasson. Good evening, Wim. Thanks very much for joining us on TES Sports Radio.
No problem at all, Rick.
So it's been, as I said, a fantastic day for our athletes. We'll get to that in a moment, but what a great opportunity for our 24 athletes that are over there in Taiwan at the moment at the International Children's Games. Just give us a little bit of an insight into what it's like and the experiences for these athletes at an international level at such a young age.
Yeah, look, all the athletes here are basically housed in university dormitories and giving them a village-type aspect for the games. And we're also living basically the Taiwanese culture over here at the moment, which is a fantastic experience for the athletes.
Now, I believe the en route to Taiwan, or just as you were leaving, there was the weather was pretty ordinary over there. I think they may have even had a typhoon over there. But how are conditions over there and the heat factor as well?
The heat factor, the typhoon has basically passed us by the time we got here. But we're sitting on around about 34 degrees with probably at times up to 85% humidity. So it's quite a draining atmosphere here for all the kids, actually. Yeah,
well, coming out of the weather we've been experiencing here in Tassie, which, well, fortunately you've missed it this week, but it's been pretty horrible. But how challenging has that been? How have the athletes coped? And I guess with yourselves over there and the parents, a lot of rehydration, obviously for the kids as well.
Basically, from the time that we had announced the team, we've been onto the athletes about their nutrition and hydration, knowing that this was going to be basically what we were going to encounter anyway.
Yep. Well, as we mentioned, it's been a very big day for our athletes, and we're going to have a chat to a few of them shortly. But just give us a little bit of a wrap, Wim, on what took place on the track today.
Right. Well, first off, this morning we had Tyron Jones competed in the A final of the 1,500 metres, and Tyron's actually run a PB and scored a silver medal, which was absolutely fantastic. And then a little bit later on in the morning, Arabella Phillips was competing in the 400 metre A final. And Arabella stormed home in a PB as well, probably around about a second, and finished third there to claim the bronze. And then this afternoon we had Jagger Pybus, who also jumped a PB by a centimetre, jumping 6:49, and scored the gold medal by, I think it was 3 centimetres. 9 centimetres. Sorry, I've just been corrected by Jagger.
Wow, that's Jagger's all over it. So that's absolutely fantastic. Well, that's an outstanding result for the athlete. How many countries roughly have we got represented here, Wim?
I think there's 87 different cities from around the world, and all different countries. A lot of European countries, Canadian, American. So yeah, it is a great experience, and it's not just the athletic side of it, but it is just getting to meet all the other athletes around as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we really appreciate the insight, Wim. I know we're going to have a chat to some of our athletes now, which is great. So we really appreciate you organising this for us, but. We might have a chat to Jagger Pybus first of all. As Wim just mentioned, Jagger won gold in the long jump a little while ago today, jumping a PB. And I think we've got Jagger on the line. Jagger, speaking with Rick Fontaine. First of all, congratulations. What a performance.
Oh, thank you very much.
You must be ecstatic not only to jump a PB, but to take home to Tasmania a gold medal at the International Children's Games and to win by 9 centimetres. That's a massive win for you. Tell us what the experience was like for you.
Oh, well, I was coming into it hoping for a PB really, and then I saw the other jumpers constantly jumping certain distances, and then I just thought if I was to jump my best, I'd get up higher in the ranks. So yeah, pretty good experience. And
the conditions, obviously, Wim was just telling us it's been extremely hot over there and high humidity. Did you have to adjust, I guess, the way that you build up to an event because of the conditions, particularly given what weather conditions have been like in Tasmania over the past few weeks in particular? Does that change how you prepare?
Yeah, well, my warm-up, I don't warm up as full on as I would normally because of the heat and the humidity. But yeah, just take it a bit easier, not go as hard, but still warm up pretty well.
Yep. And when you won the gold, tell us what was the reaction like, and I get you got a bit of a contingent there supporting you as well.
Oh yeah, well it was really so different when I won it, and then afterwards there was so many people from the different countries asking for photos and all of that, which normally I've never really gotten before. So it's a whole new experience, really.
Yeah, and this must just do a lot for you personally, I guess, in terms of, being exposed to an international field of athletes from many, many cities. I think, as we mentioned, 86 cities from around the world. What's this done for you in terms of where you'd like to go with your career?
Yes, well, I actually have experienced it before at Lake Macquarie in Australia, but having doing it again this time in a different country, it's just a whole new experience, and I'm not too sure yet how far it will go, but I'll just keep on going, I suppose.
All right. Well, from all of us down here, Jagger, congratulations on a great result, winning gold medal. PB by 1 centimetre, jumping 6.49 metres. Well done, congratulations, and I think you're going to hand the phone over to Torrin Jones, but well done once again from all of us here at Tas Sports Radio.
Thank you very much.
So that was Jagger Pybus there joining us, as I mentioned, winning gold medal in the long jump, Jagger from Hobart. So a terrific result there. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier in the day, another PB for Torrin Jones, this time in the 1,500 metres, taking home the silver medal. First of all, Torrin, congratulations on a great result.
Thank you very much.
You must be very, very excited. We're just speaking then to Jagger and to Wim about the heat factor. How did you feel in those conditions running today?
No, I felt really good actually. We had the heat for the final today, so I felt really good. Wasn't too sore from the heat yesterday, so just did a bit of recovery last night with some rolling as well and a lot of stretches. So no, I felt really good, and the heat didn't affect me too much, which I'm thankful for. So yeah.
Yeah, and look, is this your first games that you've been to?
No, it's my second. Like Jagger, we went to Lake Macquarie, New South Wales. So
yep.
it's the second experience that I've been on. Just amazing that it's in a new country in Taiwan.
Yeah, look, not only the cultural experience, but I guess the experience of being amongst so many athletes from different cities and different countries around the world must be amazing for you. Now, what does this do in terms of your focus with your athletics career? Is 1,500 metres your pet event? Are there other events that you're focusing on over certain distances as well?
Yeah, definitely 15's up there for me, along with the 800 as well. That's what I mainly focus on throughout training as well. So fingers crossed I can hopefully keep going with athletics.
Well, this must give you a lot of confidence as well, and particularly having a strong contingent of teammates over there from Hobart and Launceston. There must be a real high within the camp at the moment, particularly after such a great day with a gold, silver and bronze.
Yeah, no, everyone's thrilled really. We all got behind each other, and I think the team spirit and the bonding's really good. I feel like everyone's got on really well, and we sort of embraced all the culture together as a team, so it's been really good.
Now, congratulations once again, and also congratulations on on achieving a PB. But more importantly, I guess on a day like today, a silver medal in the 1,500 metres at the International Children's Games. Congratulations, Torrin. Thanks very much for your time, and I think we'll catch up with Arabella. So silver medal there in the 1,500 to Torrin Jones, and our third athlete joining us here on Tas Sports Radio had another great day today in her athletic career. A bronze medal in the 400 metres, as Wim Vassen said, storming home and running a PB as well. Good evening, Arabella, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, last time, I think I saw you last week at the Princess Theatre in Launceston at the dancing competitions where it was about 3 degrees. Tell us about what it was like running in 34 degrees today.
Oh, it was really hot and sticky, and your hands were burning on the track when you're on the blocks.
Oh, I bet. And but for yourself, tell us how you approached the race? Obviously, high humidity, a very high temperature, hot track. You finished very, very strongly. What sort of mindset and tactic did you take into your race?
I went into the heat yesterday hoping to get into the A final and also for a PB, and I ended up with both. And in the final, my coach told me how to run it, and it worked.
Well, that's a good old coach that does the job, but you've got to get the job done as well, and it's an outstanding effort to come home so fast and take bronze in the 400 metres. What does the rest of the meet hold for you, Arabella, over the coming days?
That's the 400, and I had high jump yesterday. That's all.
And how? Tell us a little bit about the high jump. How you went there?
Oh, I didn't do very much in high jump yesterday.
No, well, obviously the pet event today was the 400. Tell us about the experience of being in Taiwan and competing with so many athletes from different countries. What have you gained out of that?
I've made so many new friends from everywhere around the world. So.
Well, it's and that's what it's all about, isn't it? I guess going to these games, it's not only about athletics and trying to run your PB or win a medal. It's the experiences of competing against athletes from different cultures and different areas of the world. For yourself now, does a bronze medal at the 400 metres at the International Children's Games over the period. I guess all your athletes, you obviously know each other very well. We were just talking to Torrin then about the camaraderie amongst the group. It must be pretty exciting being with 24 other athletes all from Tasmania and cheering each other on. But it must be great to see everyone doing so well.
Yeah, it's a really good experience. Everyone in the team is really supportive. And
yeah, well, it's I think just cutting out there a little bit. But look, Arabella, we'll let you go and let the rest of the squad go. But thanks very much for your time, and congratulations on a bronze medal in the 400 metres, and importantly as well, winning a PB. Enjoy the rest of your time over there in Taiwan.
Thank you.
That's Arabella Phillips joining us there on the line, along with Torrin Jones and Jagger Pybus. What a great day for our Tasmanian athletes at the International Children's Games. And a big thank you to Wim Vasson for getting on the line there as well and making those athletes available for us to have a chat to. Absolutely fantastic. So great that we were able to get them on the line this evening. Well, we're going to take a quick break on Tas Sports Radio. Coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at this weekend's matches in the ANZ State League Netball, and we're going to catch up with the coach of the Northern Hawks, Ruth Toohey, after these messages.
Put some power into your performance with JBC Sports Power. Feel electric in the latest styles of footwear and apparel. Choose from the latest and most amped up fitness equipment, cricket, Aussie rules and soccer gear. Energize yourself today with gym equipment. Or power down with friends and family. The source of power in fitness. JBC Sports Power, your local experts.
Right now at Neil Buckby Jaguar, there's Jaguar demonstrator deals that will get your heart racing. For a strictly limited time, take advantage of the exceptional offers and big savings available on all Jaguar demonstrator models. Don't miss this chance to get your heart racing. Get behind the wheel and test drive a Jaguar today. Demonstrator deals are for a limited time, so test drive your new Jaguar today at Neil Buckby Jaguar, corner York and Margaret Streets, Launceston.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
I had 20/20 vision, and in 4 months I went like I was. You can't put a price on your eyes.
Your donation helps Tasmanian Eye Institute deliver world-leading research, education and service in ophthalmology for Tasmanians.
Subaru's end of financial year sale is now on. There's never been a better time to do a new Subaru, as all the range now comes with a reduced price and the added reassurance of 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Do hurry in to the end of financial year sale, now on at Neil Buckby Subaru.
Hi punters, it's Dan Malicki and I'm here to tell you about the Balmoral on York, Launceston's most popular accommodation. If you're heading to Launceston for the footy, the races or just a relaxing getaway, the Balmoral on York is the perfect choice in the heart of the city and close to all the major sporting venues. And you won't miss a race with Sky Racing 1 and 2 in every room. So take my advice, call 63 31 8000 and tell them Dan sent you to receive the best offers available. So why stay anywhere else?
Welcome back to Tas Sports Radio. It is approaching 20 minutes past 8. Great to have your company wherever you may be listening. And we've got our YouTube channel going tonight. And, wow, a bit blown away by how many people are actually watching us. So I haven't got my makeup on either. So I must bring that along next week, Derek. But anyway, look, before we go across to our next guest, very good news in the AFL. For myself and all the Hawthorn supporters out there. They've had a big second term and the Hawks have jumped out to a 10-point lead, 6-3-39, Sydney 4-5-29, 20 minutes gone in the second term. And given the relationship that the Northern Hawks Netball Club have with Hawthorn, Ruth Toohey, our guest tonight, might be pretty happy as well. Good evening, Ruth.
Good evening, Rick.
Now, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's a big weekend of netball coming up here in Launceston with a couple of matches at the Silver Dome on Saturday. But great results down in the south last week with wins over Karana and Kingston to cement your position second place on the ladder. You must be very pleased with where things are at for your netball club at this stage of the season.
Yes, very happy with how it's all travelling. That in mind, we do have some big games ahead, but really happy with how the girls are playing and putting some effort in on the court.
Now, certainly, as you mentioned, some big games coming up and a pretty big one coming up at the Silver Dome this weekend. 3:45 the open match starts, taking on Waratah on court number 1. They're sitting in 3rd place at the moment. Pretty big test coming up for the girls this weekend. How do you see that match going in terms of, obviously, from what you've seen of them and playing them earlier in the season?
Yeah, so it's been a little while since we have played them, so it will be great to see them again. And they're obviously coming off the back of some good wins, which has pushed them up into 3rd. So we're really, even though sitting 2nd, can't be complacent with that. We've going to have to be on top game and being pushed by them, I think, at every step so that they stay in the ladder as well.
Yeah, and look, where have you seen, Ruth, the major developments from your side over the course of this season?
I think we're really lucky that we, started out and we had some depth in our players, but we've seen, particularly even some of our 19 players that have started their first year in the Opens have come through and added some real depth. So I'm in a particularly lucky position that we have 9 players that makes it very hard for me at the start of every game to work out which 7 are going on, but key players that can come on and have some impact. And our defensive one-on-one pressure has turned a lot of games for us into wins. So players are definitely putting in whenever we don't have that ball.
Now, obviously, at the moment, if we take a look at the ladder, as we mentioned, you're sitting in 2nd place at the moment. The all-conquering Arrows, of course, undefeated at the moment on 34 points. Cripps Waratah then in 3rd, and Cavaliers sitting, your arch-rivals there, in 4th. But that obviously for yourselves and the Arrows very safely into the finals. But that 3rd and 4th position, Waratah, the Cavaliers, 19 and 18 points respectively. But Karana and the Kingston Blues seem to be finding some form as well, right in the mix. It makes for a pretty exciting competition.
It certainly has been, and every game's counting at the moment, and I really think that potentially that Final 4 is not going to be decided until the last round.
Yeah, now that's a beautiful segue there, because when we get to that final round on the 6th of August, as we announced a little bit earlier, we're going to be providing a telecast of our very first telecast of the of our broadcasting on our YouTube channel, the Cavaliers and the Northern Hawks. It's always a big night when you take on your arch rivals, the Cavaliers, but that's going to be a massive game, isn't it, up at the Silverdome? With thanks to Netball Tasmania, we're really looking forward to bringing that to everyone who can't actually get to the game at the Silverdome, which is terrific. But tell us about that rivalry that you've got. You've had some fantastic clashes, not only this season but in the past. But it seems to be a very a strong rivalry, but a lot of mutual respect for the abilities of both sides.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of friends between teams, but when it's on the court, it is game on. And, some tight contests that have sort of built up over the years. We seem to have a little bit of edge at the moment this season so far, but once again, nothing taken for granted, because Cavaliers will be working particularly hard to make every game count as well, and I expect that we probably will be seeing them in finals.
Yep, well, it's as you mentioned, it is very tight. The Cavaliers this weekend, well, they have got a tough one, even though they are at home. On the court next to you, they'll be taking on the Arrows. I guess you won't have much time with your big game against Waratah to keep too much of an eye on that game.
Particularly hard, but we haven't seen Arrows for a while, so I might just need to sneak a little view. But, tough competition, Arrows, very tough.
So you're going to make the assistant coaches just work a little bit harder this weekend?
For sure.
Tell us, finally, just in the build-up now, as you've guaranteed finals action this year, do you use that to, I guess, experiment a little bit, given that it's pretty well a given that you're going to finish in the top 2?
We're really looking at this stage just to fine-tune some of the things we've learned across the season and just put together 4 consistent quarters. There's been times, I think, where the girls have had some games where we have had that lead and then taken our foot off a little bit. So we know that won't be an option available to us in any game going forward. So really looking to build on our workload and intensity the whole time so that we can, control the game from the very start to the end.
Well, it's been a magnificent season so far, Ruth, and congratulations on the success of the Northern Hawks. Obviously still a long way to go, not looking too far ahead from this week, but a big finals campaign coming up as well. So well done to you and the entire team up there at the Northern Hawks. We look forward to seeing you in a few weeks for our first broadcast, but we appreciate your time tonight, Ruth, and good luck this weekend in the big game against Waratah up at the Silverdome at 3:45 on Saturday. All the best.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me on the show.
That's Ruth Toohey, the coach of the Northern Hawks, in action against Waratah, as I mentioned, this Saturday afternoon. The other game at the Silverdome is the Cavaliers and Arrows, so it is fourth versus first. The Arrows haven't lost a match this season. They've won 17 from 17. Been in magnificent form. Just looking at that ladder, they are 6 points clear of the Northern Hawks, who sit second. So they will finish first and second, I think, without a shadow of a doubt. But that third and fourth position for the finals is really, really open at the moment. And matches this weekend could have a big factor on that. Cripps Waratah currently sitting in third. The Cavaliers sitting fourth, but they are only 1 point clear of Karana on 17 points, and then 1 point further back, the Kingston Blues. And the Burnie Tigers and Devon well out of contention for the finals. Burnie on 4 points, and Devon still looking for their first win of the season. So the other two games to finish off the round on Saturday. Burnie are at home to Karana. That match is at 2:45 p.m. at the Ulverston Sports Centre, and Devon are at home to Kingston at 2:45. That is at the St Brendan Shaw Sports Centre. So very, very important games, those ones for Karana and Kingston. So they should get the job done with a win there. But the match between Cavaliers and Arrows in particular is absolutely vital for the Cavaliers, because we'd bank that Karana and Kingston will get a win on the weekend over Burnie and Devon, which would see them sneak into that fourth position. So a very big weekend coming up of netball, and we'll bring you up to speed with everything again next weekend. Before we go tonight, it's half time in the AFL at the SCG, and it is the Hawks by 11 points, 6-4-40 to Sydney. 4-5-21. The Swans held goalless for that term. Goal kickers, Rowan has got a couple of goals for the Swans and a goal each to Kennedy and Towers. For the Hawks, 2 goals to Gunston, 1 each to Lewis, Hill and Puopolo. Well, that's about all we've got time for on Tas Sports Radio for tonight. To all our listeners and everyone out there on the stream, thank you very much for your support and joining us. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show, and you can join us again 7:30 next Thursday. Remember, put that date in the diary, our netball coverage. With thanks to Netball Tasmania on Saturday, the 6th of August, we'll be bringing you a live telecast of the Cavaliers and the Northern Hawks. Go to our Facebook page at Fontaine Sports Media. You'll get all the details, including the link. Thanks to Derek Phillipson here on my right-hand side for our viewers. You can see he's back very nicely at the moment. There he is. He's just turning his face around. Thank you, Derek. Great technical job as always. To Neil Buckby Motors, our major partner and naming rights partner. We're very grateful for their support, and also to Balmoral on York and JBC Sports Power. If you need a great place to stay or a sports store for all your gear, make sure you contact our supporters. They're supporting local sport here in Tasmania. Neil Buckby Motors, JBC Sports Power and Balmoral on York. Thanks very much once again for your company. Enjoy your weekend of sport. Plenty of sport tonight. Obviously the AFL and the British Open Golf as well, and the Tour de France. We'll join you next Thursday night from 7:30. But from me, Rick Fontaine, wishing you a very good night.